Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Again, this is teacher Marvin and today I'm excited to share with you the second lesson for the general English class. So, if you know someone who uh, also would like to learn English better and who would like to learn English for free, you may want to share this lesson to those people, okay? Or you may want to share this to your social media if you want to, and for you to be updated as well on the latest video that I will be uploading. I think it's a really a need for you. There is really a need for you to hit that subscribe button below. So expect that I will be sharing different lessons, particularly lessons intended for level 3 students or the intermediate students. And so, if you know someone, okay, or if you know, uh, if you think your friends are passionate enough in learning the English language, and if you think that they are on the intermediate level, you may want to tell them or share this video to them. So in the first lesson that I shared, I actually shared with you how to construct question tags. And I also shared with you what kind of language do we need to use in formal occasion and informal occasion. This second part of the lesson will then focus on the adverbs of frequency. So this chapter is entitled Routine and Free Time. Basically because the adverbs of frequency can be used to describe the things that we always do, okay, or the things that we do during our free time. So since the title of our chapter is about routine and free time, I'd like to know, what do you do during your free time, or what is your daily routine? If you want, you can share your routine or your activities during your leisure time or free time in the comment section below. And again, I'll be happy to read all of those comments. So, you can use adverbs of frequency to talk accurately about your daily routine and how often you do work and leisure activities. Adverbs of frequency sit between the subject of the sentence and the main verb. Now, I'd like you to look at this example or these examples. We have here the subject, I, I, and I. And the word that comes next after the word I are called the adverbs of frequency. All right, and then the word after that, okay, the words after these adverbs of frequency are the main verbs. So it's correct. The frequent adverbs of frequency should sit between the subject and the main verb. Now, what are these adverbs of frequency? Okay, if you can notice, we have this arrow which illustrates the frequent how frequent, okay, or it shows uh, how many times, okay, do we do certain activity. So if we use, for example, always, for example, I read, I always read books before I sleep. So when you make use of the word always, okay, you never miss a thing. I mean, you never miss a day without you reading a book. So it's always 100%. But when you say never, okay, for example, um, I never I never eat dinner at 11 p.m. All right. So that means that there's no chance or no possibility you don't really eat dinner at 11 p.m. because you always eat dinner, for example, at 7 p.m. Okay. So allow me to read the following examples. We have always, nearly always, very often or often, usually, often, and frequently. Now, when do we use these adverbs of frequency. Use these for things that happen all or a lot of time. Particularly, we only use the word always on the things that we uh, we do all the time. Okay, but if it is for a lot of time, we can use nearly always, very often, usually, often, and frequently. Okay, so for example, I always take a shower in the morning. I nearly always take a shower in the morning. I very often take a shower in the morning. I usually take a shower in the morning. I often s- take a shower in the morning, and I frequently take a shower in the morning. What about the adverbs of frequency that we use or we should use to describe things that happen some of the time? You don't do it often, you don't do it frequently, but you just do it some of the time. Okay? We can make use of regularly, sometimes, or occasionally. So we can say, I regularly cycle to work. Well, for example, you only cycle thrice a week going to work. You can make use of regularly, sometimes, or occasionally. Okay? What about the things that happen very few times or not at all? We can make use of rarely, hardly ever, almost never, and never. So, to try and to test your understanding on the use of these adverbs of frequency, let's try to answer 8.2. So, cross out the incorrect words to make pairs of sentences with similar meanings. So we have an example. We can go to the theater a few times a year. Since we make use of a few times a year, then the answer should be occasionally. So we cross out often. Okay? What about number one? Would you like to try number one? Which adverb of frequency do you think should be crossed out? The answer is you have to cross out the adverb usually. Well, why is the erroneous answer? It's because we make use of the word every here, which means that it never misses. Like you spend every Christmas, it's every year. So you always, yeah, we always spend Christmas together. Next one, it rains here about three times a year. Three times a year. The answer is, what do we need to cross out? So we will cross out hardly ever. Okay? Yes, that's the correct answer is frequently. She goes swimming 6 days a week. 6 days a week. Which one should be crossed out? We need to cross out the, the adverb sometimes. It is very often because how many days do we have in a week? We only have 7 days. And if you go swimming 6 days a week, it's very often. Okay? Number four, they go to the gym twice a week. Mhm. Which one should be crossed out? Correct. So we need to cross out nearly always. And lastly, I stay late at work about once a month. So it is only once a month. Okay, so we need to cross out often. Okay, very good. So think and I know this short activity helped you understand better when to use those kinds of adverbs of frequency. Now, you can also describe frequency with more precise expressions. Unlike adverbs of frequency, these must sit at the end of a phrase. Okay, so when we say phrase, it is composed of two or more words. Okay, two or more words. If we make use of this phrase, it should be located or it should be used at the end of the expression. Okay, all right. So this example shows what we just studied a while ago. But what if we make use of phrases? For example, I go running 5 times a week. I go running every Tuesday. I go running once a year. So we place these phrases at the end of the expression. Now, what's the difference between the two? You can probably say I go running. I often go running. But why do you need to say I go running 5 times a week? If you want to be more precise and more specific, using phrases is more appropriate. Okay? So, having said that, let's try to arrange the following words to complete the sentence. Okay, we already have an example here. Occasionally, a book reads, and he occasionally reads a book. That's the proper arrangement of the sentence. What about number one? What do you think is the correct arrangement of this sentence? We, the correct answer here is we play tennis once a week. Okay, remember that the phrase should be located at the end of the sentence. What about number two? They rarely get home early. Okay, they rarely get home early. Number three, she eats breakfast every morning. She eats breakfast every morning. Number four, I hardly ever watch TV. I hardly ever watch TV. Number five, he nearly always cooks dinner. He nearly always cooks dinner. Number six, number six, we see the dentist twice a year. We see the dentist twice a year. All right. So, how many items did you get? You may want to share your score in the comment section below. Now, let's try to make it a bit harder. Okay. Um, just you know, take a minute probably, or you can maybe pause this video for a while so you can review this note, okay? Because the adverbs of frequency and phrases were erroneously used in this note. So we're going to correct the errors found here. Okay, now let's compare your answer to the answer that I will be sharing. Just a month to go until our debut gig. We 3 times a week practice together. So it must be we practice together 3 times a week. Remember that this is a phrase, so this must be it must be located or placed at the end of the expression, so that we'll be ready. We go very often jogging. It must be we very often go jogging. Okay. It's an adverb of frequency, so it must sit between the verb. Between the subject and the verb. It helps sometimes us get ideas for tunes. It sometimes helps us get ideas for tunes. Rehearsals are going well, and we make rarely mistakes now. Rehearsals are going well, and we rarely make mistakes now. I have twice a month guitar lessons, which has really helped. I have guitar lessons twice a month, which has really helped. After practice, we go out nearly always together. After practice, we nearly always go out together. Okay, so how many items did you get? Mm-hmm. Okay, so um, for you to practice more about this, you may want to try this one, but I'll be explaining briefly about the word order. So if the main verb in a sentence is be, adverbs of frequency go after the verb, not before it. So we have the be verb is. Okay, so the traffic is often very bad. Why is it? Uh, why is this adverb sit after the verb? It's because we make use of be verb. Okay, take a look at the following example. The weather is usually nice here. Okay, so after the be verb is, we have the word usually. I'm always tired in the morning. Okay, so this is I am always tired. So the adverb of frequency comes or goes after the be verb. Is often late for meetings, and you're hardly ever sick. With that, we'll try to look at this. Yeah, answer 8.8. So mark the sentences that are correct. You may pause this video for a while so you may review the correct answer for the following items. Okay, now let's try. To answer this one, you can compare or you may check your answer here. First one, the answer is the correct answer is my house is sometimes too cold. Number two, mm, she almost never, yeah, she almost never walks to work. Number three, it is very often or often his fault. Number four, they are rarely at home. Number five, he usually has coffee with his lunch. Number six, my boss is hardly ever angry with me. Number seven, we often invite friends to go to our house. We often invite friends to our house. Okay. Now, for your own practice, okay, you may try to do 8.9. Okay, and you may want to share your answer in the comment section and try to read and give my comment soon, okay, in the comments or in or from the answers that you will be sharing. All right, so that's it for the second lesson for the intermediate English. See you in the next lesson. Bye bye, and thank you so much.